Hi everybody, and good morning, and welcome to my weekly tip of the week. So my name is Mandy Cran, and for those who haven't joined me before, I do a weekly tip every week at 10 o'clock on Facebook Live. And I've been doing these tips for about 4 years now, and it's very much about helping people to see things in a different perspective, seeing life in a different way. What I often try to do is to make you look at something from a completely different angle. And so often we rush through lives with everything that we're busy with, especially women. And if I can help you see things in a different way, sometimes I can give you clarity in where you're going, help you to think differently, and therefore help people achieve their full potential. Because so often I see really talented people, especially women, just not achieving that greatness. And if I can help them in any way whatsoever to do that, then that gives me a huge amount of reward. So do ask questions as we go through, do like it, do share it. And as you say, I do this every week, so join me next week as well. And do feel free to ask any questions. I might not have the time to answer them as we go through, but I will absolutely come back to you once the video is finished. So what I want to talk about today is making mistakes. And you're probably going to say, oh, I've heard this before, encourage you to make mistakes. Absolutely. But today I want to go into a little slightly different direction with this. So do stick with me until the end, because it's something a bit different at the end. So let's think about when we make mistakes in life. So as children, we're encouraged to make mistakes. We see somebody walking, we want to walk, and so we stand up or try to stand up, we fall down, and so on. And we keep on making mistakes, and we learn, and eventually we learn a new skill. And so that's actually built into our DNA, is to actually make mistakes and try things. And that's, as humans, what we do. But when we go to school, we're then encouraged very much to always get 100% in tests. That's the right thing to do. And so we're not encouraged to make mistakes and get things wrong. And that actually is slightly different from the way that we're wired up. And as we go through school, obviously getting top marks is fantastic. But again, it doesn't really encourage us to make mistakes and try different things. Then we get into the workplace, so 20s and 30s, and if you make mistakes in work, that can be a bad thing, because you might actually end up in trouble. You might end up being noticed too much by the boss, which you might not like. You might end up in a 3-month warning if it gets really bad, or if it's really, really bad, you might even end up in the courts. And so again, we're not really encouraged to make mistakes to get things wrong in the workplace. We just want to do a good job, go home, not get noticed too much perhaps, and then and get the pay at the end of the day or the week or whatever it might be. But one of the problems with that is we spend quite a lot of time thinking about worrying about making a mistake, and then worry about the consequences. And I certainly remember as a young officer in the army, if I made a mistake for weeks, I would go, oh, is somebody going to notice what I've done, and actually often they didn't. 90% of the time they absolutely didn't. And I spent an awful lot of time wasting time about worrying about getting it wrong, and then worrying about the consequences afterwards. And that's a really key point, because as we get into older age, and even sort of about 40s probably, certainly for me, I started to think, what, I really don't care anymore. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake, and that's it. And I gave up caring what people thought of me. And consequently, I gained so much time as a result of that. And somebody said the other day, it's actually Virginia, who I was at a networking meeting with, said that's the great thing about getting to old age, is you have far less time to worry about the consequences of your mistakes. And I thought that is so, so true. Because all that time you spent worrying about making it in the first place, and then worrying about the consequences afterwards, is actually time that you could do something else much more interesting and much more positive with. And that's my real point of the tip today, is about if you get to the point where not caring if you're making a mistake and the consequences thereafter, that gives you an awful lot more time in your life. And for all of us, particularly women and especially mums, I know how busy I am, I know how busy you all are, and if I can give you any extra time in the day for quality time, for your own time that you can benefit from, that's really, really important. So what I encourage you to do is to just go and try stuff, have fun, forget about the consequences, and as I say, the older you get, the less you worry about the time left for people to come back at you anyway. So that's a really important point. So I hope you enjoyed that tip of the week. Please do like my page. Next Friday at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be talking about guilt, which is something that comes around quite a lot when I do these tips, because it's so important for so many people. On my Facebook page, you can have the free download to a book which I've written, which is called 12 Ways to Have More Guilt-Free Time with Your Family. So please feel free to download that. It's entirely free for your benefit. And you just click on the link on the side on my Facebook page. So for those who don't know me, my name is Mandy Cran of the Buzz Group, where you can be more. That's what my purpose is all about. And basically people come to me when they realise that their health is important, if they're going to have quality time with their family in the years ahead. If that connects with you, and you'd like to have a 20-minute free consultation, no obligation at all, but perhaps I might be able to help you in that 20 minutes, then please contact me either through my Facebook page or my other contact details there as well. Email and so on, and I'm also on various other social media. So I hope that was of use. Please do join me next week at 10 o'clock live on Facebook here on this page, where I'll be talking about guilt, to see if that helps you. Have a great week.